Hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, floods, blizzards, and tsunamis. All these are damaging effects of global warming. What would the world be like if we experienced these dangerous weather conditions on a weekly basis? I am in no way an expert on the matter, but I have researched the findings of professionals who have studied climate change. With global warming also comes many disastrous effects along with it. I will present you with some examples of global warming and some specific disasters that can accompany it. First off, global warming. Let's define what it is. According to the Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia, global warming is a gradual temperature increase within the lower atmosphere of the Earth, meaning the Earth is slowly getting hotter and hotter with each passing year. Global warming is the result of greenhouse gases that have been produced since the dawning of the Industrial Revolution. The greenhouse effect is the natural process that warms the Earth with the help of the thermal blanket. The thermal blanket is a layer created by greenhouse gases, combined with other minerals and the ozone layer. This thermal blanket keeps the sun's energy that reflects off the Earth's surface trapped, thereby keeping it suitable for life. Since the dawning of the Industrial Revolution, extreme quantities of greenhouse gases have been produced, alongside much more potent greenhouse gases. These additional gases have augmented the thermal blanket that keeps the Earth suitable for life. As a result, Earth's thermal blanket is now transmitting more heat, thereby increasing temperatures throughout the world. This could threaten the Earth's ability to sustain life. Moving on, the rise in temperature has impacted the production of certain foods. Evidence shows that insufficient chilling from the warmer winters of 2014 and 2015 almost destroyed 2015 cherry and pistachio crops in California. This may just be a glimpse of what may happen to future crops depending on our weather conditions. This can be a problem for me since I live in California. Reports have said California will be the state that will be affected the most by global warming. Since it is closest to the ocean and the warmer winters will result in less winter storms, this could result in more droughts like we have previously seen. It was also predicted that the rise in sea level will put more salt water into the California deltas, which could threaten to destroy thousands of acres of salt-sensitive almonds. Since California is one of the major states that provide fruits and vegetables, this will be a major blow to the economy. To support my presentation, I found an article entitled Witnessing Climate Change Everywhere that presents evidence that I will show you in my PowerPoint, which shows the rising of our oceans, as well as how much ice around the world has melted. It also shows our lower atmosphere beginning to heat up. The satellite data that is presented in my PowerPoint shows the Antarctic ice sheets are shrinking at a rate of 134 billion metric tons per year since 2002. A similar satellite data presented also shows the Earth's oceans have risen at a rate of 3.24 millimeters per year stemming from 1993 to 2016. The changes in climate have already started to affect food production as well as increased health risks. The World Health Organization expects millions to die from the change in climate between the years of 2030 and 2050. The cause of death being mostly from malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress. With the warming of the air comes increased risk of lightning striking, rising to about 12% in the U.S. alone. This increase is due to additional water being vaporized from the excess heat of global warming. One last thing to consider, recently a group of climate scientists issued a warning about the effects of global warming, how it may come quicker and have much more devastating impact than initially thought. This means that our planet is heating much more faster than originally calculated. Consequences scientists spoke of were the melting of polar ice caps, which will raise the level of the sea, that will cause flooding and sinking in coastal cities underwater. Scientists also predicted more devastating storms stronger than anything that has ever been documented. Because of these recent findings, 195 countries have come together and agreed to a climate change deal that will be directed at the slowing of greenhouse gas emissions. Now is the time to spread the word that could save our world. I will leave you with this last thought. Global warming has been a concern that everybody should think about as it pertains to the future of our generations. What will your children and grandchildren be left with if nothing is done to inform people about global warming? I have given you a glimpse of what may come to be if we do not try and combat global warming. I have presented you with evidence of polar ice caps melting, sea level rising, and droughts occurring from lack of rain and the effects it can have on our food source. We have already seen many natural disasters injuring or killing hundreds up to thousands of people while causing $1 million in damages. Think about these natural disasters occurring on a daily basis where you can't repair anything and are just trying to survive. But there is nowhere to go because at this point most of the country's coastal lines will be submerged underwater since an estimated 7% of the earth is made of water and ice. As you can see in my first PowerPoint slide, that with global warming comes higher temperatures that can cause drier conditions, thereby increasing the possibility of more droughts for certain areas. Following this will be wild weather changes like storms that will cause floods and mudslides to colder conditions causing ice, black ice, snowstorms, and blizzards. Multiple reports have come in about glaciers, ice caps, and snowpacks melting because of warmer waters and conditions. This next slide shows how climate change can potentially impact and threaten our health, agriculture, forests, water source, coastal regions, and wildlife. This next slide shows some potential impacts global warming can have if the Earth continues to heat up. These global warmings are worse than, and the prediction of what may happen within the next 100 years if the Earth continues to heat up by 1 degree Celsius. This next slide shows a graph of what data was collected from 1993 to 2016 that I found, which shows how much the sea level has risen each year. Below it is a similar graph that shows the weight of ice sheets currently on the Earth since 2002. As you can see, it is declining with each passing year. This next slide shows a thermal image of the Earth and how the lower stratosphere and troposphere have been warming up since 1973. This next slide shows the impact the climate has had on our global crops from 1980 to 2008. This will end my presentation. This last slide has all my references. Thank you for your time.